It's 3:30 in the morning. Jeff has long since gone to bed, and but we did manage to get at least one string working with the original idea of having an anchored string and doing all this stuff. But as I got all six strings going and I tried to tune it, I found it to be a complete pain in the ass. The wing nuts were very annoying to use, if not almost impossible to use. And then I tried replacing them with just regular nuts and trying to use a spanner or wrench to get those to go, and that was also a pain in the ass. And then I had an epiphany, or I had a brainwave, as I often do at when faced with desperate things. And that was, why have the anchors, firstly, the anchors were pulling themselves out. The T-nuts were just basically pulling themselves out, and I was not able to have a stable tune. Like, as I would add tension, the T-nut would kind of start rocking. The shaft of the anchor bolt would hit the hole that it was drilled into, and then it was basically digging into the wood and causing unstable tuning, or unstable, not even like tune. Like, I would add tension, and think I was adding tension, and the string did not change pitch. So I had a brainwave. Why don't I just attach the strings right to the tuning rods? They're not really pegs anymore. They're just tuning rods. And I could do the tuning peg thing, or the locking tuner thing, and drill a hole through the thing, and I could do that. That would work. Or I can borrow an idea from bicycling, in that shifters, or derailleurs really, and brakes are all connected to the controls via cables, and the cables are connected to these devices via pinch bolts. Basically, the cable is sandwiched between something and the head of a bolt, and it's just basically held in there by friction, and it does really well under very adverse conditions. So surely that can work for a guitar too. So I decided, why don't I just put a pinch bolt idea at the end of each tuning rod, and fix the strings there, and then use the same idea that we had before, as to move the rods in and out to change the tension on the strings. And that has worked a lot better. Firstly, I don't have the string going all the way around the body to an anchor, so that basically means I can get to the tuning nut on each rod, so that's good. Secondly, it's a lot simpler. I don't have to deal with the anchors adding weight. The tuning rods are still kind of floppy in their holes, and I might have to fix that later. But for now, this is a viable solution. It works. I can get stable tuning. I can actually play some basic tunes. And so, you like my fret markers? They're just pencil marks where the various frets should be. It's a headless guitar. Well, it's got a big piece of threaded rod sticking out, and I could cut that off, or I could just make that like an attachment point for a fake headstock if I wanted to do that. Down at the body, right now it's real basic. It still has all the floorboard shit on the bottom. The bridge block is our original idea. The bridge itself is just a bolt with a nut on the end, so to keep the other end up. And it's just floating right now, so I can move it around for intonation and whatnot. Although right here, as it is right here, is pretty good. To get the strings to come around to the tuning rods without digging into the wood, I have a piece of copper pipe or like half of a piece of copper pipe. And then the tuning rods themselves, pretty simple. I don't know if this camera's focusing on it, but it's a nut at the end of near the head of the bolt. That's the pinch part. The nut is basically tightened down into the head of the bolt, or the head of the bolt's tightened down into the nut with the string sandwiched in between. And then at the base of each tuning rod, into each hole is another nut and a washer. And I have to use a tool to tighten each nut, but that's not too much of an issue now. Before, I would have strings coming all the way over the head of each nut, or over the head of each rod, into an anchor on the bottom here, and that was just too much of a pain in the ass. So I changed that up. Still have a bit of threaded rod sticking out the bottom. I could use that also as an attachment point for if I wanted to make the body actually look like the common concept of a guitar. But for now, this thing is actually playable. If I can get this on camera, and if you guys can hear it, you guys, you YouTube people, and please enjoy the view of my crotch. Anyways. I don't know how well that comes up. So that's about it. I need to figure out how to. I did as there will be video of. I did check to see that using transformers and magnets would work, and it does work. I need to figure out how to attach them to the body such that it still looks as janky as this, but you can actually hear shit. I might attach something above the fretboard, because the magnetic field works just as well above as it does below. So that might be good, maybe. Actually, I'll probably end up doing that because I think that'll work really well and look pretty MacGyverish too. So yeah, it's probably, I've been rambling on for about almost 8 minutes now. It's almost about 3:45 in the morning. So I'm gonna do some minimal cleanup here and maybe just crash on Jeff's couch and then go home and go to work in the morning. Well, later in the morning. All right. Good night.